Hey everybody, it's Oksana, and today I want to talk to you about eating healthy on a cruise, as well as share my experience of how well that went for me. Since I just got back from a cruise with my husband, we went to Bermuda, and it was a 7-day cruise on Norwegian, the Norwegian cruise line. So as you know, I am obsessed with eating healthy and natural and organic. I try to make most things from scratch and eat pretty much 100% organic diet, both for me and my children. And of course, going on a cruise was a big, like, what am I gonna eat there? It was like the first thing that popped into my head. And I wasn't gonna let it hold me back on going on vacation and enjoying my vacation, but I did try to plan out some things and bring some food with me as well. I'm not saying by any means that you need to go to the extent that I did about it. You know, of course, it's nice to just go and take a break from everything and enjoy your vacation and eat whatever, because after all, it's just 1 week. But being the person that I am, I know that I would just have been paranoid about every little thing I put in my mouth, and I just would not be able to enjoy my food if I didn't at least plan it out a little bit. The light is crazy. Outside really is the best lighting, so I'm sitting out here, but at the same time, because the sun and the trees, it tends to get a little crazy. But I brought a lot of food with me. I called the cruise line, made sure that I could bring food, and they said that I could as long as it's non-perishable. And I brought all kinds of things. I'm actually going to insert a little clip of all the things that I brought with me. Alright, so here's what I brought with me. I brought some tea, my turmeric tea from Numi. I got 2 bags of pretzels. These are the Unique brand. They're the sprouted. One's made from organic sprouted whole wheat flour. I brought some peanut butter, so I can have that with bananas in these wraps. I got these paleo wraps made from organic coconut, and there's 7 wraps in each, so I got 2 packages of that. And then this is a little bit wrapped up, but this is the Whole Foods brand peanut sauce. I just really like this sauce, so I can make wraps with this and some veggies, perhaps. And then in the front pocket here, I just have all kinds of snack bars. So I have a ton of these protein bars by Cascadian Farm, and then I have, if I can get that out, some more protein bars. These are the other flavor. Those are the chocolate chip, and these are the honey roasted or something like that. I have a chocolate bar and a bunch of these Kits Cliff bars. Just various flavors of these. And that is it for things that I brought with me. So that is what I brought, and I actually did not end up eating a ton of it, just because a lot of it was snacks, and I really didn't snack that much. Like, we would go and eat meals, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, but really I didn't snack a ton. We weren't in our room a whole lot. We were doing different activities, so I did eat like some of the pretzels. I think I only ate like 1 of the Cliff bars, and I did eat a few of those protein bars as well. And one day we went to the beach when we were actually in Bermuda as my, I guess, lunch. I can't remember what time of day it was. It was breakfast or lunch when I was on the beach. So I did eat some, but not as much as I thought that I would. I did eat quite a bit of the wraps. They did make a good breakfast. I would put peanut butter on there, and I would get bananas, like I mentioned, from the buffet area that they had on the cruise ship. At first they didn't have bananas, and I had to ask for them, but they would bring me some bananas, and then later they just started having them out where they had all the fruit. I think at first they were like too green, because what they do is they load up all the food and then it lasts them for the whole trip. They don't actually get any food in Bermuda. They told us that they had quite a few like Q&A sessions with different people on the boat, and so I did learn that sometimes they get food for 1 week, and then certain things they get for 2 weeks. Like, a lot of their proteins come frozen, and they get a whole lot of them to last them 2 weeks. So anyways, that's what I did for breakfast, and sometimes I did lunch that way instead of breakfast too. And then I did not end up doing what I thought I was gonna do, and I did not end up even opening that bottle of peanut sauce. I love that peanut sauce, and I thought that I could make wraps with it, just throw whatever kind of vegetables they had that had the least amount of pesticides on them, put a little bit of that sauce, and perfect wrap. But the problem is they did not have a very large variety of vegetables, especially ones that were not already cooked in some kind of sauce and marinated. In terms of their salad bar, they really just had lettuce, and then sometimes maybe like cucumbers and tomatoes, but really not as many things as I thought that they would. And in terms of the pesticide thing that I just mentioned, so I had a list. You can get a list online. EWG, Environmental Working Group, the same group that makes the Skin Deep database. I think it's every year or every couple of years that they test various popular fruits and vegetables for pesticides, and then they release a list, those that have the most and those that have the least. And that list was very, very helpful because I knew some of the ones with the most I already knew about. A really popular one is apples and grapes. I knew those had a ton of pesticides and, you know, chemicals sprayed on them, but I did not know, you know, all of them. And so you can look up Dirty Dozen or you can look up Clean 15, but I actually just wrote down the entire list, which I forget, there's probably like 50 something items on there, so you can see where something falls. Maybe it's right in the middle and it's not the safest or the most dangerous, but you can kind of see and judge from there you know, whether you wanted to eat it. So I was gonna look on maybe like the bottom half of that list, whatever vegetables they had. Like I know asparagus is on there, avocado is on there. They actually didn't have either one of those things except for asparagus they had in cooked form, like with other things. But one thing you do have to be careful of, that list does not account for genetically modified produce. So corn is genetically modified, most corn in the US, most soy, we're talking like 95%. If it's not organic, it's probably genetically modified. Zucchini, squash, a lot of sugar comes from genetically modified sugar beets. A lot of chocolate is genetically modified, cacao beans. So I just avoided all the things that are genetically modified and tried to eat other produce that had the least amount of pesticides. One thing that I think worked out really well, I'm glad that they had, is they had a lot of melons. Every single day they had watermelon, they had honeydew melon and cantaloupe, and also pineapple. And pineapple especially is one of the ones on the Clean 15 list, and then the other ones, I don't know if they quite made the bottom 15 or if they're just a little bit above that. I don't remember exactly what number they fall into, but they were definitely not the ones with the most pesticides. So I ate that every day pretty much for breakfast or for lunch, and I had that instead of dessert. I would have, you know, melon and pineapple, some kind of random mixture of those things, and that worked out really, really great. So I'm really glad that they had that. That was wonderful. In terms of things for lunch and dinner, like actual, you know, more filling food than just melon, I kind of had to make some judgment calls based on what they had. So I think I had rice sometimes. They had some various like little salads with vegetables in them, but again, there was some kind of dressing or sauce, and I really don't know. There's probably a pretty high probability that there was either mayonnaise in there, which most mayonnaise is from genetically modified soybean oil, and I avoid both genetically modified things and soy, so that was definitely a bad thing. But it's kind of like there's not much that I could do, you know, at that point. It's kind of a no-win situation, so I had to do the best that I could given what I had to choose from. So I did have some vegetable type things for meals. I made sure that they were the safest vegetables, but sauce and dressings I don't know about. I pretty much did not eat meat the entire time that I was there because I was really worried of all of the antibiotics and hormones and steroids and things that it potentially contained, and then also I knew that it wouldn't be like as ethically sourced. Like when I buy our own meat, I make sure it's from local farms, that it's humanely treated, cage-free, grass-fed, all that stuff. They have to kind of source the cheapest food that they can so that they can make money. I actually had read before that most cruise lines pretty much just break even. The amount that they spend on everything to serve you and the food and the fuel, they pretty much break even, and where they make money is all the extra things, like you buying alcohol on the ship, you buying, you know, the photos that they take of you, spending money at the casino, buying excursions, all that stuff. That's how they make money, is off all the extras. And speaking of drinking, I do not drink alcohol, but they actually had organic tea, which I was really impressed with. So I did bring my own Numi tea, which I did drink, but I also had some of their tea. They had like chamomile and mint and just plain green tea, but it said organic on it, the little USDA seal. So I did have some hot tea there, and other than that, I just drank water. Now, I did have a few meals that were kind of for enjoyment purposes, and that I just tried to worry less about and just do my best and enjoy. So they have a buffet, which we went to most of the time just because you can kind of like pick and choose what you eat. But they also have some restaurants, some specialty restaurants, like an Asian restaurant, and a bunch of various ones. And so we did go, there was one which was a hibachi grill, which I thought was really cool. I've actually never gone to one before, so it was really neat. That's where it's Japanese, and they like cook in front of you and, you know, throw food and you try to catch it in your mouth. So it was a cool experience, and I did eat the food there, although I'm sure that it was cooked in like soybean oil or GMO canola oil or something. I tried to just be like, okay, I'm definitely going to be exposed to some of this. There's no way to avoid it 100%. So as long as I do my best, I am going to enjoy some of the things that I eat and some of the things that I do on the ship. So there was a few times we went to that restaurant, then we went to like another Asian restaurant, and I forget exactly what I had. I think I had something with rice noodles. But basically, most days we ate at the buffet, and I just did my best. I tried to eat things like rice. I think they did have a few rice noodle dishes. They had a few Asian dishes. Things like broccoli as well. Pretty much vegetables and grains, I guess, is what I had. I think for the most part, I ended up eating gluten-free. I think I avoided most bread because it was only white bread and stuff like that. I think all the grains that I ate were things like rice. So that's pretty much what I did. And in terms of how that affected me, I actually do think that it had an effect on me, because after like the second day I started breaking out, and it's getting better now because I've been back for almost a week. Yes, today actually is a week. I've been back for a week. So it's clearing up, but I had a few blemishes on my forehead that are now healing. It's actually been the worst that I've broken out in quite a while. I'll get a pimple here and there, but I had like 5, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is terrible. Luckily they were kind of small, and just throwing a little makeup on covered them up and made them less noticeable, but it is the worst that I've broken out in a while. And I mean, I don't know, perhaps there's other things contributing, but I didn't change my skincare or anything like that. Obviously my like external environment changed and the weather and stuff like that, but I think it was mostly food related. But I did manage to stay at my weight. I think I gained like a pound roughly when I came back. I say roughly because I weighed myself last on my scale at home, and then when I came back I weighed myself on my parents' scale that they have here, so it was it's potentially different. You know, sometimes you weigh differently on different scales or calibrated differently. So I think I gained about a pound, which isn't bad. I did not eat very much food because there was such a limited amount of things that I could eat, and I think I ate mostly melon every day. So I think that's pretty much it. Overall, in terms of, you know, what would I do different? What do I recommend to people that are in a similar situation? I think that I did the best that I could. I'm not sure that I would really do much things differently. I'm not sure what else I could have really brought with me, since you can't bring non-perishable or perishable food with you on the cruise. I think I kind of did my best, and I'm happy overall with how it worked out. I did drink a ton of vegetable juice when I came back, like every single day for the first like 3-4 days I did some vegetable juicing and drank that to try and like detox everything out of my body. But I mean, I feel fine now. My skin's cleared up, my body feels good and all that stuff. So I think that it's one of those things where you can, kind of relax a little bit, enjoy your vacation, do the best that you can. So that's it. That's my experience. Just wanted to share it with you. Thank you so much for watching. And if you have any questions, leave them down below, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye.